And we are live again. ReddCoin Development Team, September 15th, 2023. John and myself just thrilled to bring you the latest in ReddCoin technology. Working our little hearts out to bring things to life. I think that was GE at one point, but we're going to steal it. John, how you doing?
Good, thanks, Jay. Yourself? It's been a hectic and crazy week since it was 2 weeks. I can't remember when we did the last call. It feels like
no, we
last
did
week,
one.
but...
Did we do one last week? Yeah, we did one last
I think
week.
we did.
And yes, we've been pretty good.
So,
3 weeks in a row. That's a record for Red. So we're gonna We're gonna take that win and put a plaque up on the wall. So we've been working in all directions as a team, as individuals. John is going to be the focus again tonight on the wallet work that's going on. We're really fighting to get that next version out. If you've been tracking the GitHub activity, you'll see some of that stuff happening. Or if you have permissions in our Discord, you can also see in the Red Core channel, every time a commit hits, there's a message posted there. So, John, if you want to take lead, show us what you've been up to and what the expectation is this week.
Absolutely. Well, it's I've been promising for what feels like a lifetime. Our next version is getting out there. So I think just to recap, the last public release we had of 4.22 was actually December last year, which is an incredibly long time ago. It's a lot of water under the bridge since then. We've made lots of improvements. Oh, sorry, my little offsider is here. But we're getting to the point here now. I think, with all the interruptions and things that we had in the last, sorry. I need to sit down a little, buddy. With all the interruptions that we've had in the last while, I think we've, regained some focus and got cracking to try and get this version out there. And the biggest hindrance, to the blockchain is just keeping things active and moving forward. So I really want to take this opportunity to present to everybody watching that we have almost there. I think the only deficiency really is just getting release notes written up. I've been working on those in the last couple of days on and off to tidy up and recap all the history. So basically, to summarize, we've layered ReddCoin PoSV on top of Bitcoin 22 to really bring the security model of the core wallet more in line with where Bitcoin is. And I know they're also racing ahead, and I'm already looking at what is required to get that to get ReddCoin onto something a bit later. But first things first, we really need to get this version out there so that people can really enjoy the benefits. I think, if you look at historically, our current core wallet version 3, while it's served us well, is also getting long in the tooth. It's slow on some people's systems because over time, the blockchain has grown. We reached that milestone of 5 million blocks. That, of course, increases the data load that's required to synchronize and store that data and also bring that data across the network. And so if somebody's starting up a wallet fresh, it takes time to load that up. And while we made improvements way back then, there's further improvements and enhancements being made to the current wallet to help improve that process of getting synchronized and started up. So part of what I'm going to do today is, instead of talking about, because I've spoken in the last several calls, sorry. Hey, excuse me. I know it's exciting. Hey, come over here. Come over here. Let me scratch your head. Come on. Hey, come on. You're live on the internet.
I mean, for what it's worth, we will be able to edit some of that out. But it adds the personal touch. The little doggies. I should bring my cats in there. We're just seeing ears pop up over the desk there, by the way.
Yeah. He's the friendly dog. I've got workmen actually working here around the office, so I've had to isolate him from the activities. This is a live show, folks. This is what it's all about.
Hey, we're lucky to be doing it. You and I both had internet issues for part of this week. They were digging up part of my street and cut a cable, which is not an easy fix. And Apparently, those same guys are working at your place. So fantastic.
They're trying to keep it happening. So just to get back on track with what we were discussing. So part of what I'm going to do today is actually do a little show and tell presentation for the Core Wallet to do a little screen share and show some of the cool stuff we've done. We've certainly extended the UI, like we've always talked about enhancing the UI, while it's still quite a industrial tool that doesn't have the sexy appeal of a lot of other mobile wallet apps. I think some of the stuff that we've put into the Core Wallet now, if people haven't done any of the release candidates in the past, we now have some cool stuff to look at. So let's take a just get that actually online so you can see it. Will help. I'm going to share my screen and just find the app. Where are you hiding? Many things running on my screen. Gosh, I had it here before. It's not that one. It's going to be that one. I love the screen share. You can share the application, but then you've got to go find the application. We've got too many running. Right, let me start that up. So here we go. So hopefully everybody can see that fine. Just moving some screens around so I can actually drive it without interrupting myself. All right. So you can see the mouse cursor there. Also, I hope. Yep. Lovely. All right. So Core Wallet probably looks very similar to what people are familiar with version 3, but we've actually added some enhancements in there. Some of these carry across from Bitcoin version 22 and that preceding version. So remembering that we've jumped from version 10 Bitcoin up to version 22 with lots of enhancements. I think off the bat, the very first thing that is noticeable from the screen is there's this little drop-down box over in the top right-hand corner, which allows people to select multiple wallets. So effectively what that allows somebody to do is not just have that one default wallet, then having to use command lines to start up on one wallet or a different wallet. You're now able to load up different wallets into the application. Originally from Bitcoin, they followed a very simple correct wallet, and then it would load up, and then you control your wallet functions from the file menu. Basically, you get the options of being able to open and close them. They're still a wallet.dat file. Interestingly, they're still a wallet.dat file because the structure of that for transactions and that metadata has remained. The wallets now default to a BIP32 style, so a HD wallet. So I spoke last week a little bit about what that implication is for people who are coming from version 3 across to version 4.22 is part of the import process. It will import those old wallets, but they won't have the... Hey, excuse me, I'm talking.
They won't have the what, John?
That's an edit point. The wallet will import the older style wallet.file, so you still have access to your funds. However, part of the migration process for users going to or coming to version 4.22, users should seriously be considering migrating their funds from the old wallet.dat file to a HD wallet style. And while BIP32 style, so that's just kind of the basic HD wallet file format, will allow people to secure their funds and just be able to import a seed ID. So it looks kind of like a private key. In fact, there's a private key for BIP32. It will regenerate the addresses, the main address, and also, if you understand what HD wallets are, also the change addresses. So that wallet integrity. Asha. Sorry. Edit point. Hey. Let me get. And all right,
it's okay. Right. I mean, I can jump in for a moment if he's being a little.
No, he's just hearing stuff outside. He can't see it, and yeah, I've got to be working around outside, so he's a little bit reactionary. He's a very friendly dog. He's just
guarding the
protecting Daddy.
ReddCoin crown jewels.
Protecting the developer.
That's right. That's right. One thing I just wanted to say, because people do tend to sort of gloss over things. When John says migrating your funds as opposed to sort of upgrading an existing wallet, because of the complexity of what we're putting into place here, what we have sort of followed along with other people putting into place as best we can, it's a little bit cleaner, as if you've been holding ReddCoin and staking it in an older wallet, to start with the sort of the operation of the newest version with a clean wallet. Go through the process, get your seed phrase, and then send funds to that new address. Certainly the wallet is built to upgrade existing wallet.dats and move keys around. And as John was saying, it is pretty seamless. For the sake of being absolutely secure, I think our recommendation is going to be across the board. Sort of moving forward, it's not that there's a ton of danger, but the way that the wallets are structured, it makes more sense to start with a fresh, clean wallet, fresh, clean address, back it up with your seed phrase, and then really that's all you need as a backup moving forward, and send any funds that you have into that new address. John, would you concur or comment on that?
Absolutely. I guess before my mate really interrupted me, that's effectively where I was going. So basically, just to summarize, when you start up the wallet, it is going to import your current wallet. But as you're getting to the ideal approach is create a brand new address. And I was going to show you this process, but I just realized as you were talking that Telegram doesn't, when you display a application, it doesn't show you your menu options. So I'm clicking on the menu items and it's not showing up on the display there, because it's just showing the background, showing the core wallet, but it's not showing the menu drop down. So we'll make some videos of this anyway as part of the rollout process so people can sort of play along. But what I was going to show you was when you can create a new wallet, your existing wallet will be there. You can create a new wallet. You can now nominate whether it's going to be a BIP32 style. So it's not using keywords or seed words. It's just using the generated private key. You can generate BIP39. So that's the style of HD wallet with a seed phrase. And also we have the option of creating creating and importing BIP44 style wallets. That a lot of the online wallets, mobile wallets, are using BIP44 style to create a universal multi-coin type wallet. So we also have that capability to import wallets and create wallets for that scenario. But the key feature there is create a HD wallet, because that makes backing up and restoring wallets so much easier than backing up and restoring it and trusting that the wallet.dat file is safe, because that's, in our 10 years of operation, that's probably been one of the biggest financial security concerns. People have got funds locked away in a wallet. If you don't have your wallet backed up cleanly, or you think you're backing up and it's got some corruption, restoring funds becomes quite a challenge. And the HD wallet basically will rebuild your wallet from that single seed phrase, whether it's a seed ID or a bunch of words that are generated. Recovery is so much more safer, really.
And just a note to add on that, it also allows anything that also supports seed phrases to be interoperable. So the Coinomi third-party wallet, Guarda, our old ReddID wallets that were all seed phrase-based backups, that's been difficult to work with to sort of move into the future. At this point, we're sort of bringing it all towards one solution. And to be clear, you had to back up your ReddCoin before by actually copying this wallet.dat file. John mentioned it, but for some folks listening or watching later, that may not be clear that that's actually the pain of taking a file and putting it somewhere safe, making sure it doesn't get corrupted, and then every time you stake to capture the new keys and make sure the data is up to date, that's all gone. That is a thing of the past, thank God. And at this point, your entire backup is a few words written on a piece of paper that you can hide in your pocket or stick in your safe or give it to your mother-in-law and don't tell her what it is. It makes it a much more flexible system. And it means that anything that supports ReddCoin, let's say, as a mobile wallet, you don't somehow have to figure out how to send coins to that. You can just import that phrase exactly as if you were working with your core wallet. So it really is a gigantic leap forward that we'd like to both be proud of and humble about. But kudos to John for mapping and implementing that in a way that makes some sense. We are definitely going to have to do some training materials on that.
Absolutely.
To make it easy, but yeah.
Yeah. In fact, the training materials is going to be, it will be important because, helping users identify which style of wallet to create, ultimately needs a little bit of discussion and even getting it out to our broader international communities, getting multilingual versions of that to help people digest that information and make the right decisions will also go a long way. But I think the two takeaways out of this is migrating your current funds into the new wallet system of HD is one imperative, and two is backing up that C phrase somewhere safe so that you don't lose it. Because again, you lose access to that. You commit it to memory and then you forget what the word was. Another problem, right? So it's like all security measures. It's only as good as the person who's looking after it.
Sure. You could pick one word and give it to each of your friends if you have, more than two friends.
Oh, you have a falling out, then what happens?
Oh, that's true. It's true. Oh, it just means you have to be good to your friends or you lose your money. It's a whole other thing.
There you go. My friendship relies on you remembering this word. I'm
sorry. I was gonna prompt. Can we show this new staking layout there if we can't bring up the menus, or is it being
absolutely? Yes, it should be. Let me just flip across there, showing the same tabs. Oh, there! Look at that! Ooh la la! So, so I think one of the challenges that people have with staking is just understanding the staking process. So, in this particular display, it's or the staking tab lists all your unspent transactions. So, without getting into all the technical nitty gritty of transactions, basically any coins that can be staked are displayed in this list, and they're given an age weighting. So you can see a little bit of color shading there, and I haven't staked there for a while, but we also get down into some reds and power reds where they're outside the staking limit. So part of PoSV is that you can't stake coins that are any newer than 8 hours. So 8 hours is the minimum time threshold, and then above 45 days is the upper threshold. And you'll see on this display that dark green there is, and the time limits there are 125. I can see at the top there. So I'm looking quite a distance from my screen. So they're outside the threshold. They will get staked, but their earning capability is quite diminished, and that's the way PoSV works. Is there's a optimal period of around 8 days, and then as you move away from 8 days, either becoming less or becoming more than 8 days, the tail off changes. So the whole idea is that you keep coins moving so that the optimal stake period is around 8 days. In this particular case, we've got 27 days, so it's within the threshold. So there's two light green lines, and then everything else is outside that threshold. Mind you, the number of coins I actually have in there is quite small. There's only like ones, and I think I got 100 ReddCoin on one of those transactions. But it's to help people actually identify. So just move this over so you can see the whole screen. For each output or for each line in here, it gives you what's the percentage of that, or the probability, not percentage. What's the probability of that particular coin stake getting staked in the next block? Or we actually have some time periods here as well, so we can. And I don't think you can see that on the. I can see a little bit, but not all of it. But we can change the timescale. So for us, we stake every minute. So the probability of any output staking is displayed here, which is quite minuscule because those funds are quite low. But you can also look at, okay, what's the probability going to look like of staking in the next 24 hours or the next week or the next month, just to give people a bit of a understanding of where do my funds sit. Like, do I have any funds here that are going to stake at all? And you would look at this particular display and go, well, I don't have too many coins here, and the probability is quite low. Whereas if you were more loaded up, then you would have a much higher probability of staking, or being able to see that there's going to stake. And unfortunately, I'll do another video. I think I might even do this next week. Is get this display set up so we can actually just see all the open windows. But we do have a window for showing not just the stake probability, but a little bit more dynamics of, what's the network difficulty level, what's the network loading, what's my own loading, so a bit of a comparison at a higher level, and anticipated of what sort of time period is that stake going to occur in. So again, it's still a statistical or probability analysis. It's not a guarantee that I am going to stake in the next minute. It's what are my chances of staking in the next minute, or do I have enough coin weight to stake in the next minute? So unfortunately, we can't. Just the way the Telegram is set up with the sharing here is share screen is not quite what I expected. Next week I'll show you some more details.
Yes, discovered some bugs in Telegram's competition with Zoom. I did just want to point out, if you're looking at this and saying, well, it's very hard to read and understand. We absolutely understand that. This is data intensive. We're trying to display, but I would venture to admit that neither myself or John are graphic artists or other than technological artists. So if you have that ability to sort of take data and turn it into pretty pictures, certainly on the UI UX side of things, and you'd like to help us do a bit of a visual revamp here, we're doing the work under the hood and building the engine and making it powerful. We need to make it shiny and pretty too, obviously, and that is a team effort. So anybody out there that's got that sort of a proclivity and wants to throw your hat in the ring, we are definitely looking for a bit of help on the visual overhaul here beyond the functionality John's describing. Just wanted to make a mention there.
Absolutely, it's while we've followed the Bitcoin, it's pretty much a cut and paste of Bitcoin and just laying our own PoSV stuff on there. I have to eventually, if people want to tell you, look, it's it is an open source project. Everyone has equal access to it. If somebody has some skills there that they want to contribute, it doesn't take too much to create a pull request and say, hey, this is what I've done, and we can spin that up and verify it and get the conversation going. The other thing I'd like to say is you don't need permission to actually participate. This is open source. You can make the effort and then, or have a chat to us and say, look, I want to make the effort, and I'll send you those changes, and have the have us get us to take a look at it. It's more than welcome. And on that front, also, just as an open source project, we are looking for translators. We use Transifex as a translation tool. Now, sorry, my friend is causing corruption here again.
That's quite all right. Transifex, the links are posted or pinned to the top of the Telegram channel, along with other important messages, but you can find it there and click through. I believe I saw you incorporate the German translation as complete, so that at least is a victory.
I actually wanted to talk to that a little bit just so people can sort of understand. So we have two translations going on at the moment. One is the original, what we call 0.22. So that's a file upload. So we take the file output from ReddCoin and upload it to Transifex. And a lot of that has been translated. It's got a majority of translation that people have already done over the period of time. And I also did a separate, because I was just experimenting with integrating Git into the translation process, where when you make language changes to the core UI and commit those to GitHub, Transifex actually will go out and look at that immediately. So you reduce those delays in uploading the content. they're both actually live, and they're both live. And from what I understand with Transifex and their machine language translations is when people do make translations, they do sometimes get applied across to the other ones. Sometimes it's done by their own back end, and then other times it's done by users, translators who are involved and actually go, oh, there's a translation, and then you go through a review process to make sure that translation is correct, and then applying that translation. I've been working on trying to get a little bit tied up because there's some, when I enabled all that initially, there was some funky little things happened that actually said it was all translated when in fact it hadn't been. So I've been working out how to undo what the bot had decided had been finished, which had not. So again, having some people involved in the translations and going through and you're going, well, there's no translation there. Going through the review process and either selecting a correct translation and popping that in there would be great. I'd also like to just have a little shout out to the Spanish side of community. There's been a lot of movement on the Spanish translation side, and not just a raw Spanish file, but actually multiple, I guess, dialects of Spanish. Very much appreciated, and kudos to the guys out there who have been doing that work. We're going to put this core wallet out there live with the translations as they sit. So you're going to find there's going to be gaps in that translation at different times. So, if you find a gap and you're annoyed by it, then, reach out and either get involved in helping us to enable it, because while I can do a little bit of the old Google Translate, I can't translate a language as something that would sit in a UI. So, would love if the community could get more deeply involved.
It doesn't need to be scary either. I'm sorry, John, for interrupting you a bit. It doesn't need to be scary, just so people understand. When we say translations, most of the language, the words that are in these wallets, those translations were done already by the Bitcoin team and their community. And so a lot of that exists, and John can pull it in as, in places where they haven't changed. But since we're making changes, for example, up top here, we've got a new staking tab. The Bitcoin Core code that we worked from is going to have its translations in other popular languages for overview, send, receive, transactions. But we've added a staking button. How do you say staking in Russian or Polish or Portuguese or Korean? We could go and individually find out. But what we're asking is for folks who speak those languages to pop into this site and go, oh, well, staking, that seems to be open. I know what staking is in English. So however it translates, that's where we need your help. It's not big chunks of text, really. It's small, few words, maybe half a sentence, maybe a sentence at most. But every little bit helps. And if you can help somebody in Korea understand what that staking tab does, it's a victory for all of us. And since this is the cornerstone of our network, and we really want it to be accessible to not only people around the globe, but in their own language, we need help. So if you can pitch in. The site is Transifex, TRANSIFEX.com, I think. But again, the link, and I think it's /ReddCoin. The link is pinned to our channel. Every little bit helps, and we're doing the heavy lifting. We need you guys to help us paint the outside and make it pretty. And as John said, if for some reason you just feel inspired and want to contribute a change or make something happen in this wallet, go to GitHub, ReddCoin-project. The specific repo you'll see is ReddCoin-0.22, although that may change at some point. But go ahead in there and open a pull request or dig into the code and figure out what we're doing wrong and how to do it better. That really is the motto of our project. And we desperately and dearly want people to point out those faults as long as they're willing to help fix them. Sometimes when you just point out the faults, it's not great. But if you can help fix them, you'd be our friend for life and a key part of what we're trying to do. There really is a lot of work to do, and we go through it as we can, but more hands, I think it's many hands make light work.
Absolutely. And I think just to go a little bit deeper in what you're saying, if you do find issues with the wallet, we more than welcome those being logged. GitHub is the place where to do it. some explanation around it. Just saying it doesn't work is always a bit hard to fathom, but if you can give us some details about what you're experiencing and how you achieve there, is it repeatable? If it is repeatable, how are you repeating it? A bit more detail in there always helps us get to the bottom of getting those things fixed. But I was just looking at the time there, Joe. We should wrap up soon. I just wanted to just highlight one other small part that we added into the main part of the UI, and that is down in the bottom right-hand corner in the status bar. We added in some visual cues as to what each wallet is actually doing. So the usual sort of things like you'll see on the core wallet, they're selecting your denomination, but also highlighting what sort of wallet we have. In Bitcoin, they just said whether you had a HD wallet or not. Within the work that we've done recently, we actually display is it a HD wallet? Is it a BIP32? Is it BIP44? Is it BIP39? Or a blank wallet? Or the original no HD style of wallet? So one of the icons will show that whether that wallet is actually staking or not. So one of the features we've put into the wallet is to be able to not just stake one single wallet, but actually be able to selectively stake a wallet. So if you're sort of got a crazy situation where you create 10 wallets for 10 different reasons, and you want some to stake and some not to stake, then you can actually go through and configure the wallet that you want, wallets A, B, and C to stake, and you want the D, E, and F not to stake, then you can set that configuration up. But also, from a GUI, select your wallet from the drop down, and it'll update here to say whether that wallet is actually staking or it's not staking. The other two icons are the sort of the standard, is the wallet synchronizing and do I have network connections? But we're trying to create a little bit more feedback for users to be able to use a wallet and do it from a visual without having to jump back down into RPC commands or command lines to get that information. But trying to make the GUI a useful tool.
Absolutely. Just before we go, I did just want to share some of the social media team's work on. We're working, as we've mentioned.
Sorry, guys, I actually need to jump off. The phone call is actually important. I'm going to wrap that up here, Jay. And,
I'm going to take off.
I need to take off rapidly.
Computer.
Sorry about that. That's all happening here today. But one thing I will say is I will get some videos out of the
Okay, let's wrap it up here then. Thank you everybody for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. Sorry to rush off like that. That's just something I've been having one of those mornings couldn't avoid. I'll catch up with you next Thursday. Sorry.
No worries. See everybody next week. Yep.